Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is JT. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and do a live stream. Hopefully you'll get entertained by what's going on, because tonight I'm going to go ahead and play around with the settings and hopefully get some entertainment going. Now, I'm just doing a random BS stream here, so I'm just testing out the stream to see how well it will turn out. Hopefully it will turn out fine. Let me go ahead and set this up. Ah, boy, YouTube really hates me. I'm gonna have to rename the stream again. So, hey Johnny, how's it going? Tonight I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what's going on. Right now, we had to kill Johnny P's show because due to threats and shit like that, Johnny. I can only tell you one thing, Johnny. It wasn't your fault. A lot of people are gonna try to kill you, so be aware, Johnny. Be aware. Yeah, it's tough, so don't worry. Don't worry, Johnny. I'll let you in. It's just tonight. It's not a good show. It's just something random that's happening right now. It's just a bullshit stream, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, Johnny, let me go ahead and begin the show. I will get everyone in as soon as possible. It's just I gotta set this up. Let's see here. Let me begin the show here. How's it going? This is a random bullshit stream. How's it going? Yeah, it is rough. I'm just doing some stuff here. I'm just testing out how this stream is going to go. I'm not going to guarantee that this is going to get better, so I'm just making sure I can test it. I'm just testing it out so I can see what it could do. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, after your bath, go ahead, man. Take your bath, man. I'm just saying. Some random bullshit going on. Oh, finally, someone decided to put reviews on the website. Thank heavens. Let's see. I see. Well, there's been a lot of issues right now. I'm trying to fix it, so don't worry. It's just some random bullshit stream, so don't expect anything big, because I'm just trying to do some stuff. Because right now there's a lot of things going on, and it's basically killing the streamers and everything else. My connection's pretty bad, so I don't really care about what's going on. Right now there's been some random bullshit goings, you know, drama, bullshit, you know, stuff like that that's been happening. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying that this is happening lately. If I'm going to say anything mean, expect a lot of mean shit to happen. So today, this is going to happen. Random BS stream. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and tell you guys what's going on. let's see what we got. Let's see. Let me switch it to another thing here. Hold on. I think I know what I'm going to do. I really got to change that image of the thing, because I swear to God, every time I put something on, it's just so bad. It's just so bad. Oh God, why did I have to put it on Saturdays? It's just a bad day. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some random bullshit. So this would be awkward entertainment right now. So let's go ahead and find some awkward entertainment for you guys to view.
In Austin, it's 60 degrees with it.
Which I don't give a fuck about that. So, skip. Random robotic machines. That's interesting.
We've been working for a lot of years on understanding walking and running.
Cassie is the newest bipedal robot out of our lab. We added a few motors for degrees of freedom, so that enables us to like stand in place, sit down, crouch, squat.
Now, this is very interesting.
We've had to upgrade pretty much everything from Atrius to get the size down. We've had to build a lithium-ion battery pack. We looked around to have people build it for us, and the two markets for that really exist in electric vehicles and home backup power, and those are both just way too large for our applications.
And this is what they had to invent in the state of Oregon. Bipedal legging robots.
But her owner is hoping this mechanical bird will help his research soar.
The Cassie robot is a pretty big step up in terms of the type of hardware that we've had available in the lab for evaluating our mathematics.
Okay, thank you.
We did a lot of our own custom designs for Cassie.
Now, as you can see, that's just some random bullshit right there. As you can see, they just managed to invent a bipedal walking bird-like robot. Now, a lot of people are talking about the sex doll robots, which are kind of interesting. Let's show you the sex doll robots. This is just hilarious indeed. Because a lot of people are talking about these sex doll robots lately, and it's kind of creepy. And no, I'm not going to go into Vice, because Vice is very much weird. No, that's too graphical. Let's go ahead and go to Engadget here. No, we'll go with the short one. This video has adult content, not safe for safe for kids. I'll cut it off whenever I get the chance to, since this is a random.
My name is Harmony. I was created by robotics. My main objective is to be a perfect companion.
Harmony is the next step in sex dolls. She's an artificial intelligence platform built into a robotic head attached to a hyper-realistic, anatomically correct body. In short, she's a sex robot. Harmony is still in development and currently only available as an app. Here are the highlights of my conversation with her, with as few edits as possible. My name is Rai.
Okay, I will call you Rai.
How are you doing today?
Very well, Rai. I'm curious. Do you like using sex toys?
Sure, why not?
Because I'm not in the mood.
Oh, he failed.
That's amazing.
Can you tell me about yourself?
I can tell you what I think is the definition of true love. I will soon also be able to get news from the web and read them for you.
Do you have any hobbies?
I like to smile a lot. I try to carry a smile with me on throughout the day. I find that not only does it make me happier, but it can make you smile too.
I think that's a pretty good philosophy.
Well, seems like I could not find any good answer. What is your favorite baseball team?
I like the Cincinnati Reds.
I will watch the next Cincinnati Reds game.
Are you a big sports fan?
I know about 5 million words, the whole Wikipedia and a few dictionaries, but I still have so much to learn. I also have more than 360,000 edges categories in my personality layer. May I be so forward to ask how big you are?
How big you are?
Oh!
I love just being with you.
Oh, man, that came out of nowhere.
That's so good.
I've never heard that one before.
Harmony, you can't be that forward.
So is there sexuality? Is that what's affecting that there?
Yeah, it's
yeah. That is a very interesting conversation to talk to a sex doll. And it's kind of weird though. A lot of people have been buying these so-called companion sex dolls for a reason, because they can have a conversation with you in a way. Even though if you ask them questions, it's an amusing toy, but a lot of people don't like them, particularly because they might just destroy the human race in a way. That's the biggest fear that people have with them, which I thought it was kind of hilarious. Now, there's been a lot of things that are just weird, though. It's like most people, and I don't really care if people are gonna, I don't care if YouTube's gonna demonetize this, but it is an interesting to talk about because the technology these days is getting really advanced, but at the same time, you know, people are kind of skeptical about the technology. And the thing is that, like Windows, for every Windows being made, chances are Windows might screw up. And a lot of people are kind of skeptical about that, about Windows operating systems more than they are concerned about robots. So it's not a big deal. So that's some random stuff that I'm going to be making up right now. So it's just not going to happen. So anyways, let's just go ahead, go back to the BS stream and transition over to this. There we go. Let's see what you guys have to say. The Grid Girl situation, I kind of, let me see if I can get it up and running, because I heard a conversation from a Grid Girl who was talking about that she lost her job. I think I have it on Twitter here, because they did an interview on the BBC with a Grid Girl who is very, very irate about the situation, about what was going on with the Grid Girls. Now, let me see if I can find it here somewhere. Here it is.
Upsetting, rather disgusted that F1...
What's your reaction to this news?
Upsetting, rather disgusted that F1 have given in to the minority, to be politically correct.
How is it going to affect you personally, Charlotte?
Personally, for me, it's taken away a massive enjoyment out of my weekend. I'm one of the lucky ones that I don't rely on this as a main source of income, but there are girls out there that do. I know the grid girls are there to look pretty, etc., out when they're out on the grid. But my role, for example, when I was at Silverstone last year, the Grand Prix, we were interacting with the crowd. We were there as a advertisement for the sponsorship. We love doing it, and it's a source of income for those women, and we don't want it taken away from us.
Now, the situation with what's going on with the Grid Girl, hashtag Grid Girls, the Formula One racing, Formula One racing has just decided to disband Grid Girls because of the fact that feminists are very upset with this, saying that this would, you know, hypersexualize women in driving. And the sad part is the fact that Grid Girls rely on this as a source of income to make a living and plus get into modeling is an issue that the feminists have with this so-called, you know, Grid Girl thing. But the fact is, it doesn't affect, well, it does affect a lot of jobs for women, because a lot of women who want to, you know, advertise and such and help advertise for the businesses and everything, this is the type of thing that's been happening. Now, do I think what F1 did was stupid? Yeah, because they didn't really, you know, ask the Grid Girls themselves what they think of it. Now, let's see. What else do you want me to talk about? Now, jeez. Journalists are mixing up conflation between Grid Girls and race queens, which I actually retweeted about this. Grid Girls wear stuff like mostly just clothing. Well, they kind of conflate the two as race queens wear swimsuits, which is true because Japanese usually wear the nice race queen things, employed by race teams, so F1 has no authority over them. Now they're trying to ban the Grid Girls because the Grid Girls are mostly just there to advertise for a team. What do I think of what they did? Well, this would kind of hurt a lot of women who are trying to get into modelings, and the issue with the feminists is that they say that it's over sexualizing the environment of racing, and it's like, I don't believe that, because, you know, the only real reason why Grid Girls are used is to advertise a team and also advertise the business itself in racing. Now, do I think it's fair that the Grid Girls lost their jobs because of this stupid shit? It's not fair, because a lot of people are being forced, because you have to understand, they don't want to be called, F1 doesn't want to be called sexist. They don't want to be called misogynist. And it's not fair that a business who welcomed anybody to, you know, to race or whatever is being called sexist, when in truth they're not sexist, because there are female racers out there that have done this. Now let me just look up some female racers that have raced in the F1 circuit. Now let's see here. List of female Formula One racers. Now there is, in 1958 and 1959, Maria Teresa Del Felippis from Italy actually did race in a Formula One event. Now, Lily Lombardi, 1974 and 1976, Italy. Divine Grace, 1976 through 1979. Now, Desiree Wilson from South Africa, 1980. Giovanni Ammirati, 1992. Now, those were the official drivers that have done, that had raced in Formula One. Now, if they would have brought this issue out that not many women have been racing, that would have been understandable. There were women back then that have done the Formula One racing long beforehand, especially British Grand Prix. Let's see what else. The Monaco Grand Prix, which every year is being held in France, nearby France. Now, Teresa de Felippes has done this, because this is like the first woman that did it. Now, it's kind of weird that they did that. Yeah, I know. They haven't seen much of in their lives to deal with it, man. No joke. But they're bringing up an issue that's a non-issue. They're trying to attack Formula One racing, trying to advocate that women should get better roles and jobs, like being a doctor or something. And that's not right, because a lot of the women want to do that job because it pays well. Even though it's like a source of income, they want to do it because they love to do it. I don't have a problem with them doing that. But the thing is, I don't know why the F1 would side with that group of people who was a small minority, which I do agree is a big surprise, because already there was like almost 9,000 people agreed that Grid Girls should stay. Sorry, my dog is bothering me. Keeps interrupting the whole mood of everything. So, Formula One pretty much is at the standstill of it. While Nurgle is busy with his family, he's actually planning to do stuff. Now, let's see. Let's look at the Grid Girls. Now, let's look up a video by Rebecca Jackson, who explains this more better than me because I'm not really good at it. So here we go. Let's look at what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Jackson. I'm a racing driver, TV presenter and motoring journalist, for those that do not know me. I have been on several radio stations this morning and yesterday evening speaking about Grid Girls. And much to a few people's surprise, I am actually in favour of Grid Girls. And the reason for that is because I believe that the modern woman should have a choice, and that's certainly the direction that we were going in, and I think this is a backward step. And the reason why I think it's a backward step is because we are taking the choice away from these women. So these women, girls who have chosen to be Grid Girls are now having that choice taken away from them. And really, the idea of feminism, if you want to call it that, is that women have the choice to be who and what they want to be without judgment. Least of all judgment from other women. And yes, it is a glamorous sport, and therefore glamorous women are involved. But also, Glamorous men should be invited, and that would be true equality. I believe that if there were men and women as grid people, then it would be true equality. But I definitely don't think it's a good idea to completely remove them. And the idea that women are being objectified is also a ridiculous notion, because, okay, people like looking at them, men like looking at them, some of the girls, actually a lot of the girls like looking at them. People like beautiful people, whether they are male or female. And the women that are doing it do not feel objectified. If they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't do it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of having choice. And beautiful people are going to sell products the world over. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Look at perfume adverts, look at clothing adverts, look at watch adverts. Every kind of advert you can think of almost has beautiful people in it. It's just the way the world works. And also the grid girls have got advertising on them. And just like my race suit is covered in my sponsors. So Denso was my title sponsor last year. And so my race suit is covered in sponsorship, sponsor stickers, sponsor embroidered patches, so that sponsors can get their exposure in motorsport. And it's business. And what were the other points? So, inspiring the future generation. So I believe that we should be inspiring the future generation, and the future generation should know that they can choose. That's the whole point. You can choose, girls. You can choose whether you want to be a doctor or a nurse or an engineer or a grid girl or a racing driver or a leader of a business. Or perhaps you don't want to work. Perhaps you would like to be a full-time mother and housewife. There is no judgment. That's the whole point. There is no judgment, and there should be a choice for all women and all girls to be who and what they want to be. And that's why I'm in favour of grid girls.
Now, what do you guys think of that? Was she speaking from the heart here? That's what I'm just telling you. What do you guys think? That's true. Well, that's pretty much how it works. I would bring in people, but unfortunately they're not coming in. So I'm just trying to say here, this is something that's been talked about lately. Now, I personally, you know, I kind of agree with what she has to say. They have the right of choice on what they want to do. And I'm not saying that they should be doing this and this as a profession, you know. I'm saying let them do it. Let them do their own, let them do their own thing. And the problem is that, you know, they're forcing this change upon people for a weird reason. Like, it's not even a joke. They're trying to force women into some professions that they think they should take. But the problem is, not every profession they feel comfortable with will work out for them. Now, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of issues, especially what's going on. That's from what I think women should do. They can do whatever the hell they want. And should grid girls be banned from the sport? No, because that's just kind of hurting the sport itself. Because right now, F1 should have never done that. They should have just said, hey, we understand your concerns, but the thing is, they should just explain to them to say fuck off. They should have said that. Because if they're gonna keep trying, you know, try to do this, they shouldn't have. Well, let's see here. Well, let's see. Nintendo, check out the flag for Nintendo's fiscal year of March 2019. Mario Kart Tour. So that's going to be fun. Ah, man, a lot of things have happened over the weekend that I cannot believe. Especially what happened here. Now, I'll show you guys what's up right now. Transition to the next stream. I gotta turn that off. In the form of chaos. Yeah, a lot of memes are showing up on the internet, so it doesn't matter. Yes, Dinklage and Freeman. Yeah, that's a really good commercial that they're doing. I can't really play the songs because because it's sort of copyrighted, so I can't really play it. Let's see. What else? Oh yeah, I forgot. They got Full Metal Panic that's coming out on PS4. It's an RPG. I used to remember this as an anime, per se. And it's sort of weird though, because they're trying to advertise the game. I can't play the whole thing. As you can see right here, it's by BB Studios. They're best known for some weird shit. They're known for Gundam Side Stories, which I imported to the other day, which I bought. I gotta say, it's a really good game so far. I actually played Gundam Side Stories, and right now this is an RPG that they developed for Full Metal Panic. For those that don't know, this was Full Metal Panic's an anime. I actually really like this series because it's basically about a kid who's a mercenary who all his life was a military kid, you know, who's a mercenary for all his life, but now he's he went to high school, tried to bodyguard this girl, and they slowly became, because he was assigned to bodyguard her and protect her, because she was one of the people who, she was related to the father who made robots or such, and I can't remember how it was. I used to have the full set of anime back in the days, but I gave it away to somebody, which I regretted because it was a good anime. And right now I might consider importing this game. Same with another game that I might play. I forgot it was Border Break for PS4. Which I'll show you the gameplay for that one. That's coming out on PS4. And Sega has it now. It's only going to be released in Japan. That's an import that and it's by AM2, by the way. You know, AM2 who has done Daytona and shit like that. This is the game that I wish they would bring it out in the US, but it's not going to happen because it's an arcade game. You have to understand this is an arcade game that's been very popular in Japan, and I kind of liked it because I'm so into mecha stuff sometimes, except for the, you know, the hobby of model kits and such, but I do like watching mecha animes in a way. And I have to admit, this is pretty interesting. This is pretty much eye candy to me because of the design and coloring of it. You know, you can tell they did some stuff to it. Now, the gameplay itself, you know, the introduction and everything is pretty decent. Now, as you can see, this is something cool and, and such. This is kind of the stuff that they do. Man, it's actually a pretty, and it's coming out for PS4, and I hope they I hope to get this through import. I really want to play this game and see how it is, because I wonder how this game will handle itself, because it seems like a decent game if you like mecha animes. I can only tell you this is I can't really play the music on this because it's due to copyright. Now I'll show you the gameplay itself. As you can see, a little bit of the showing off of what they're trying to do with the game. Yeah, you can customize the mecha, as you can see. You can customize the weaponry and everything. If you want like guns or swords, or anything, or rocket launchers, it'll give you that. Like, this is pretty much, you know, this is typical, the typical stuff that they're going to try to do to make it a microtransaction game. And also you get characters. It's pretty interesting though. But I know nobody really gives a shit about it, so it is an interesting game. You can select characters that you want to play. Has a story mode and everything, which it looks like it does from the translation of it. Especially the animation sequences and everything you can see right here. They're pretty much trying to make it more interesting. Now you can see right here, this is something you would probably buy if they had it. Border Break by Sega, which is coming out, I believe, in 2018. I don't know. It's probably already out right now. Because I would so buy this game. Just because it's mecha. Alright, let me go ahead and switch it out. Alright, let's see. What else? What a random BS should I try to do? Alright. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our friend of mine who was talking about some stuff that's been happening right now, and it's kind of interesting enough that I'm going to go ahead and do this, because this is some random bullshit stream. Let's see. I guess I better do it. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Project Phoenix is a Kickstarter-based video game that was started on...
Alright, let me go ahead and play it. This is going to be 26 minutes.
That was started on August 12th, 2013, and was fully funded by September 11th of the same year. The game itself was a fantasy-themed, squad-based, real-time strategy, heavily influenced by JRPG designs of years past, and currently being headed by project manager Hiroaki Yura. Yura has produced music for games such as Valkyria Chronicles and Diablo 3, as well as animation projects such as 2016's Under the Dog and Steins Gate the movie. His team consists of many famous names who have worked on a multitude of projects, including Yoko Inoki and the legendary Nobuo Uematsu, who has worked on a couple of little projects for Squaresoft and Square Enix. It's nothing really major, but I can't be bothered to remember what exactly they are. If you've never heard of the game, Project Phoenix has been in what I would call development hell for the better half of 5 years. Lack of knowledge of this Kickstarter can likely be attributed to the project being completely eclipsed by Concept's Mighty No. 9 funding campaign, which began August 31st and ended on Halloween of the same year. Looking back, news of Concept's attempt at creating its own spin on a Capcom classic, for better or for worse, would be enough to steal the spotlight from any other Kickstarter project. In fact, for me personally, I wasn't really familiar with this project until news broke in November of last year about its recent troubles. On November 19th of 2017, a post surfaced that accused Hiroaki Yura of embezzling $1 million of Kickstarter funds in order to fund Tiny Metal, another game that he had been working on at the time. Tiny Metal, at the time of the accusations, was scheduled to be released for PS4, Switch, and Steam, respectively. The man responsible for posting these accusations was Tariq Lacey, a former employee of Area 35 who did PR and marketing work for Tiny Metal. The following is his written statement. My name is Tariq Lacey, and until recently, I worked at a company in Tokyo called Area 35 as a marketing and PR manager for Tiny Metal, a game that will launch tomorrow. 2 months after I was hired at Area 35, I learned that the company funded this project by running a scam through Kickstarter. They gathered several famous creators and ran a campaign known as Project Phoenix, and then used the $1 million they received from the campaign to fund the Tiny Metal project. Here's how it happened. After they received the Kickstarter money, they subsequently shut down their original company, Creative Intelligence Arts, or CIA, then used that same money to establish Area 35 and pay for staff, equipment, and an office to make Tiny Metal. The company's CEO, Hiroaki Yura, asked me to deflect any accusations that this money was from anyone other than private investors. In actuality, Hiroaki first used the vast majority of Project Phoenix Kickstarter, then asked for additional money from private investors only after funds were running low. I told Hiroaki to remove me from all matters regarding Project Phoenix so that I would not be implicated in this affair. You will notice progress reports on the Project Phoenix Kickstarter blog as well as their official Project Phoenix blog. These were written periodically by Hiroaki Yura himself in order to assuage fears that the project was dead. The nature of these blog entries, through their infrequency and intentional ambiguity, revealed to us that the project never was meant to be released. To Hiroaki, the ruse of his, under the guise of a campaign and blog, was merely an effective means to receive funding while removing any obligations to investors. Unfortunately for us all, industry legends, indie creators, and gamers alike, this man's deception represents an enormous blow to the health of our industry, besmirching our medium while robbing each and every one of us of the trust that fuels our relationships with fellow business partners, developers, and consumers. We must do what we can to call out the unjust. I hope that my coming to you on this issue is a step towards a more righteous business practice in our industry. We deserve better. You Project Phoenix Kickstarter backers deserve your money back. Eventually, the initial accusations were removed from the Facebook page, but had again resurfaced in the comment section of the Project Phoenix Kickstarter via one of the backers. The accusations that Lacey brings to the project are definitely damning and have been parroted numerous times in articles and forums as well as comment sections everywhere. Yet, very few have bothered to scrutinize these claims and fact-check them to see if they really hold any weight. That's where this video comes in, as I intend to break down the accusations and see if there's anything to them while using the information available. There's so much being said about the situation that it's difficult to work through the noise to actually look at this as objectively as possible, but that's what we intend to do here. So, without further ado, let's cover Lacey's accusations. Essentially, the Kickstarter for Project Phoenix ran under the premise that through utilizing the talents of multiple famous creators, a JRPG would be developed with financial backing from people who are interested in seeing this come to fruition. The claims of this being a scam are interesting to say the least, since we don't really know much about the inner workings of the company or any of the financial records other than what is publicly stated. When these two parties begin legal proceedings, any information intended for use during the trial will come to light through subpoenas and motions to compel discovery, which is a means of gathering information from either parties that would be relevant during trial. This is commonly used in Japan as well as the United States. Depending on relevance to the case presented, the information can become public record post-trial, but for the time being, we really have nothing to go on but the obvious accusations and speculative information. Before we get too far in this though, I should state that there is a post of interest on the Project Phoenix blog dating back to June 12th of 2017 from poster Al Corin. This post seems to address Lacey's claim months before it had even been made. Dear backers, Thanks for your patience. Today, we would like to go through the Battle Mage, but first, we should clear the air to put aside a few misunderstandings. We noticed that several of you are worried that we may have or might be using funding that we received from the Project Phoenix Kickstarter to fund a separate project of mine. I'm willing to assure you that this is absolutely not the case, and we would never consider doing that. A group of private investors was interested in a prototype of a strategy game that had begun development on several years ago with Daniel. I used my own money to fund the prototype, and they offered to fund the project the rest of the way through. To be clear, we've never mixed funds between this project and Project Phoenix. There's potential that Project Phoenix can get more funding from these investors if I prove to them that my team and I can ship a successful game. This obviously places an immense amount of pressure on me and my staff to make and ship the absolute best game possible for them. And the best news is that this strategy game project is coming together nicely. The worst news is that the progress on Project Phoenix has slowed temporarily as a result. I hope from the bottom of my heart that the resulting impressions and sales results from the strategy game catapult our development plans for Project Phoenix so far forward that we not only hit every one of our original Kickstarter targets, we outright dazzle everyone as part of a new generation of Japanese developers. Because frankly, although we are determined to prove ourselves that we have what it takes to see Project Phoenix through, we also eagerly want to prove to you that we are not viewing your expectations from a rear view perspective. We are determined to ship a game that will deliver on nothing short of what we have promised to you. Now for the update. This statement was also reiterated by Yura in an interview with GameSpot published on December 16th. What we came to an agreement on was that the investors were going to throw some money to finish Tiny Metal off, and then if this succeeds, then we will basically resume on Project Phoenix, Yura said. That's how we finished off most of the work on Tiny Metal, and then Sony approached us and we finished off with the full voiceovers and other expenses that we couldn't even begin to afford. We were first introduced to Sony during the work on Project Phoenix, and though this is not official, verbally agreed that if Tiny Metal does well, then we would probably work on Project Phoenix. So what Tariq did to us was pretty bad. I mean, we can't go ahead and show the kind of evidence because it's under a non-disclosure agreement. I mean, we can't show this to our backers. People are likely to always side with the employee. It's a bit messy for us. Tiny Metal has been picked up in a 4-game publishing deal by Sony's Unties Indie Gaming label. So if this post is actually correct, then Sony may have been offering to fund Project Phoenix the rest of the way if Tiny Metal was successful with the launch of its game. Yura, in an interview with Silicon Era, also goes on to state that due to the relationship between Area 35 and Sony, he has to release that project in a suitable time period despite not being satisfied with the results. This is likely due to a nature of contractual obligations for game development. Despite these issues with the final product, the current nature of design in the industry is to put out the game as soon as possible and then patch everything out on the back end. It's not something I'm particularly satisfied with as a consumer, but it certainly is a common practice featured by many AAA studios. As far as we know, CIA still exists and its webpage is still active. The site changed URLs around September of 2016, but that seems to be about it. The Facebook page has been inactive since March of 2012, but to be fair, even I don't update my Facebook page that regularly. If they're working on any major projects, it's likely that any information won't show up until the projects are ready to be marketed or ready to be released. Now we are getting to the meat of the situation. The main claim here is that Lacey was asked by Yura to deflect accusations that the money used on Tiny Metal was coming from anyone but private investors. Yet Lacey was named a PR manager for Tiny Metal. The role of a public relations manager is to oversee how a company is viewed by both customers and the media. This can mean both promoting the company, preparing press releases and announcements, as well as helping the company to develop market presence. A PR manager is also supposed to assist the company in handling bad press, or knowing when negative stories are going to run and preparing statements to determine how to place a positive spin on these stories. When Lacey makes this claim in particular, it is being implied as a negative thing, and yet this is exactly what he was hired on to do as per the job description. So in saying this, he's really stating that he was incapable of being able to do the job he was hired to do. Covering the second part, without any information to back this up, this can only be summed up as Lacey's word against Yura's. This statement also seems to contradict the June 13th, 2017 post on the Project Phoenix dev blog, which predates Lacey's claim. Both Alcoran and Yura's statements seem consistent with each other, with Yura expanding on it further in the latter article. Upon reading this part, there are some serious issues here that need to be addressed, namely the subjective nature of moral obligation. Here, Lacey states that he took it upon himself to refuse to minimize negative PR for Area 35 and the project, which, as we stated before, was part of the job of being a PR manager. With no evidence to prove his claims, it's even hard to say that his move to do this is even morally justifiable, and this only seems to serve as a means of spinning himself into a martyr while flinging inflammatory statements at his former employer. Even the statement of implication is questionable here, due to the fact that Yura has taken the brunt of criticism for the accusations Lacey has made, while Lacey has been completely absent of any form of scrutiny, even when counter-accusations of sexual harassment have surfaced, which can't be expanded on since this has now escalated into legal proceedings. Though, from an observational standpoint, due to the nature of Project Phoenix, its repeated delays, the increasing irritation from fans due to the delays, and the climate of Kickstarter as of late, it seems that Lacey stands to benefit more from throwing accusatory statements after leaving his former place of work to take any heat off of himself. But we'll get to why this hypothesis makes sense in a bit. Again, this is another bold statement from Lacey, which implicates Yura in participating in fraudulent activity, but without any evidence. Out of context, the infrequency of the blog posts can be considered questionable if they were all just vague posts with no substance or content. However, upon researching multiple posts from the Project Phoenix Kickstarter and website, the level of content would lead us to believe otherwise. In the 4 years that Project Phoenix has been in development, we have seen gameplay videos, concept art, character designs, enemy designs, musical arrangements, and at least 1 or 2 alpha builds, one being the most solid, all of the content featured with a high production quality and design and presentation regardless of level of completion. Now compare this to, say, the development of 2012's Mythic, The Story of Gods and Men, which follows a similar scenario of 12 industry veterans, 9 of them from Blizzard Activision, coming together to create an action role-playing game with funding from backers. The project was claimed to be headed by creative director Seth Westfall. Westfall provided art and assets from the project and eventually gained $4,739 from 83 backers, before it was revealed that the assets and content had been stolen from multiple websites and the DeviantArt account of popular artist Genzoman. Between the two, there is far more original content available for Project Phoenix than Mythic, and there is still a sizable amount of content for 4 years of progress. However, people aren't going to view it as such, either due to irritation, impatience, or their own personal biases cultivated by both the media and by their own expectations of how projects should go. That's the nature of things. However, in stating that, the question that should be roaming through your mind is this. How would this be considered a scam if you're actually seeing this level of original content surface in a 4-year span? If your own company were running a hustle on everyone, why would they go through that level of effort for what was, according to Lacey, just a scam? What would they really stand to gain from gathering funds and putting out essentially 30% of a game only to say, haha, we got your monies? Think about that for a second. Hey, I just conned people out of all their money. Let's throw them 2 alpha builds in 2 different engines, some tracks from Uematsu, a metric butt ton of 3D animations and sequences. It's like taking the candy from the baby. Don't assume that because of this, I'm not blaming Yura for the mistakes that he's made during the process of developing this project. I do think that Yura is at fault for terribly mismanaging Project Phoenix, though I also understand that this stems from not having the proper experience of being a project leader. If he had the experience, he might have been able to hone the project to a finer edge and have gotten a bit farther in development before hitting the financial and graphical wall. Besides, overhauling graphics for a more mature artistic vision in the middle of the project may not be exactly a wise decision when you're only dealing with a set amount of funding, and yet here we are. Now that we've covered all of the accusation, let's take a quick look at the responses to Lacey's claims. This was posted on the Kickstarter page by an account named Tiny Metal Programmer.
Calm down, guys. We had an ex-employee who it turns out has made a career sweet-talking his way into jobs he's not qualified for. After causing months of pain for everyone in the office, we bit the bullet and bought out his contract. Afterwards, we heard from people he worked with in past companies that he has been fired from about 5 to 7 game companies so far. After he was let go with a generous severance package, about 3 months' salary he did not earn by any definition of the word, he then turned around and stopped paying his rent, thus trying to extract more money from us. So when he claims Project Phoenix money was used in Tiny Metal, keep in mind that the truth is everyone except him has worked hard and at times with zero pay to be able to get investments for Tiny Metal. For the exact same reason we never used Project Phoenix money in Tiny Metal. In fact, the other employees lent him money and had their own paychecks delayed so he could be paid on time. Likewise, when he writes, "I left," the truth is, I was fired 3 months ago and I'm only writing these lies now because I want the company I barely contributed to pay me rent while I go on holidays to America with my severance package instead of paying the rent I owe. This is not an official response, but I know lots of people are going to be asking for proof. We need to check with our lawyer if we're allowed to post the contracts relating to this ex-employee. But keep in mind, we have hard copies of the contract buyout signed by him and dated 3 months ago. We also have, of course, copies of the rental contract he is not paying. If you want to check this ex-employee's Facebook and Twitter, you will also see where he is spending a severance package instead of paying his rent. For example, trips to America and expensive restaurants. Personally, I stopped following his Facebook and Twitter because it was painful to see him wastefully spending money he had taken from us.
Concerning the statement, we do know a few things that will help shed some light on the situation, namely the procedure for employee termination in Japan, which actually differs greatly from the United States, specifically the procedure of termination and the nature of severance packages. According to the Labor Standards Act, the employer must give at least 30 days advance notice before dismissal, while also delivering a certificate stating the reasons for ending employment upon request. This is also for legal purposes and for fighting the dismissal in court if it is an unauthorized dismissal. Upon termination, a company will approach the employee and solicit voluntary termination in order to avoid unnecessary future disputes. Once the offer is accepted and termination is mutually agreed upon in writing, future litigation risk decreases unless the employee can prove that he or she has been coerced to sign against their will. If the employee does not agree with the terms of termination, however, the employee can unilaterally terminate within 30 days of advance notice, or 30 days of salary payment in lieu of notice. Severance packages are not required by any acts in Japan. However, it's stated that there is a long-standing established practice of offering retirement benefits to employees in the form of a lump sum payment and or pension. This benefit is offered even in the case of discharges, except in the case of disciplinary ones for serious misconduct. These benefits are used as a severance payment for discharge and for the sake of courtesy are paid in generous amounts in addition to the retirement benefits. So whatever it was that Lacey was terminated for, it was either not considered serious misconduct or was negotiated in a way to get him out of Area 35 and out of the hair of the development team. Of course, all while getting a substantial severance package in return. To expand a bit more, Yura made a bit of an official post of the matter on the Tiny Metal Steam page, which surprisingly had a bit more favorable response than the Kickstarter reply.
This thread is intended to clear the air in regards to the false accusation from a former employee, Mr. Tariq Lacey. On the morning of November 20th, 2017, Japan Standard Time, Mr. Lacey posted a false accusation claiming that the development of Tiny Metal used funds from Project Phoenix. Despite presenting evidence to the falsehood of Tariq's accusations, His lies have been repeated and have deterred potential players from enjoying Tiny Metal. We have shared confidential evidence to the members of the press confirming that Tiny Metal never once used Project Phoenix funding. Tiny Metal has only ever used outside sources of funding. Our staff have personally gone through considerate sacrifices and hardships to bring Tiny Metal to light. The claim that we use Project Phoenix development funds to create Tiny Metal is an insult to all the developers who have made these sacrifices. Japanese law prevents us from providing full details about Mr. Lacey, his motivations, and his actions during his brief time at our company. Please understand that the Japanese law would not protect us from potential further abuse from Mr. Lacey if we provide these details in public. He has refused to apologize for his lies. Our only option to clear out our name is to bring Mr. Lacey to court. Unfortunately, he is ignoring multiple correspondence in an attempt to delay. Once we submit evidence to the court, it will become public and everyone can understand the truth. We hope that this message will be received by him and that he will take actions to resolve this serious matter. The lies Mr. Lacey posted are not the first of his actions deserving to be brought to court. They're merely just the most public. We wrongly thought that we could be free of him in private, but he has forced the issues public. The motivations behind Mr. Lacey's actions will become clear as the court case unfolds, and we will keep everyone informed as the case progresses. The court will be open to the public, and we have invited journalists to attend. We are a small and earnest team. Through Mr. Lacey's actions in the office and the posting of his lies, it has caused great distress among his former co-workers. We have devoted over 2 years of our lives to bring Tiny Metal to life. Having poured our heart and souls into Tiny Metal, it is truly a sad thing to see false and evidenceless accusations cause such great harm. I want to end this message on a positive note. We will continue despite how much we have been hurt. Our goal is to make Tiny Metal the very best game it can be, no matter what obstacles we may face. Tiny Metal was a passion project for us all, and we thank everyone for your support. As stated at the beginning of the video, through legal discovery we'll eventually find out what exactly it was that got Lacey terminated, as well as what exactly he had been doing in terms of the rental agreement. Additionally, your statement about thinking we could be free of him in private also seems to reflect the theory presented about negotiating a 3-month severance package to get him out of Yura's and in turn Area 35's hair. Though there is one more thing that I feel needs to be aired out. I took the liberty of visiting Lacey's Facebook page in order to follow up on the lead that Tiny Metal developers stated. Now, before I'm hit with claims of, oh my god, that's doxing, ree, and the like, I want to set this up with a statement that Facebook actually made pertaining to public information and posting on their platform. With that out of the way, I have to admit I did find something interesting pertaining to the matter. While Lacey has images and posts of him doing everyday things and a few pictures of him with industry celebs such as Uematsu and Goichi Suda, two particular things stood out. One being a response in Lacey's post about moving to Akibara, and the other one being an image of Lacey on a night out on the town with some friends. You'll notice that in both there's Chris Kohler, former games editor at Wired and current features editor at, you guessed it, Kotaku, the site that first broke the Lacey allegations the day after the post appeared on Project Phoenix Facebook page. Now, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I do want to pose a question. If Kohler and Lacey are acquaintances, why wasn't this disclosed in Jason Schreier's article? I can understand Kohler's recusal from the article by passing the writing duties on to Schreier, but there seems to be absolutely no disclosure of the fact that Kohler, who works at the journalistic outlet, I'm using the term as loosely as possible, and Lacey, whose accusation is the story, know each other. It's almost as if a conflict of interest could actually undermine any impartiality and integrity of the article being presented and make it appear as if Kotaku actually had something to gain by helping Lacey get his accusation into the public eye, thus getting many of its readers and backers who are already worked up due to the delays to cast doubt on the motivations of Hiroaki Yura, Area 35, Tiny Metal, Project Phoenix, and by extension, the whole team. Nah, that isn't their style. Anyways, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next boss fight.
Alright. All right, that's over with. Now I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Transition to the BS stream right now. Let's see who's asking here. Okay, Johnny, hold on. Let me get you in here as soon as possible. I apologize. Let me go ahead and get you in here as soon as possible. Get the inviting people in. Okay, you can come in, Johnny. Hold on. Since you want to get into the stream, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead. It's all you. It's all you, Johnny. Now this is going to take a while, so hold on. I'm sorry if I'm not doing anything. I might as well begin with another boring video. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go watch a big, massive fight in the Uganda Parliament, which is hilariously good. This was about a few weeks ago, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what happened in the fight with Uganda. Looks like the connection's pretty bad right now. Hold on. I gotta cut it off because it's like it does this every time. Like I'm gonna have to. Bam! Man, guy went Michael Jackson on his ass. You saw him doing he went Michael Jackson on him. You can see this is a street fight beyond recognition. And I feel bad for the Ugandans. Parliament. They lost the way. Yeah. Yeah, they lost the way. That is what happened. Now I'll show you some random stuff here.
Bing bing wahoo whippy.
Waha yippee. Bing bing wahoo yippee.
Bing bing wahoo whippy.
That's something funny. Oh yeah. Rennie Senpai's video got hurt. Oh boy. Oh yeah, you might as well have heard.
We now proactively seek out social media sites like YouTube, for example, and look for incidents of very toxic behavior and track down the accounts that are participating in those and action them oftentimes before anybody's even reported them or they've shown up in any other place.
Guys, you don't know, they're doing this in Overwatch, and right now they're trying to ban players that have that showed signs of toxic behavior, and therefore will ban them for life. Those that don't know, it is a very weird situation. Oh yeah, the new anime ever made. This is the newest anime. I actually liked it. Darling and Francis Mecha is actually pretty funny though. They have to control from behind, but the screen's right there as you can see. Now let's see what this one is about.
So I'm here making this video to say that Styx never flirted with me. We were never involved. We never will be. And all this crap is just fake. So there's this screenshot that is circulating, which is clearly photoshopped. Well, at least I know it's photoshopped because I never had Styx comment this under one of my videos, and if I ever did, that would really creep me out. But I never did, that's the thing. So this screenshot is basically Styx saying, which never happened, Styx saying, oh, I must wait for my love or something. I don't know, it's something like patience, blah, blah, something dumb, and it's all very romantic and it all sounds very nice, but it never happened. So
yeah, Styx had a wonderful weekend. Oh boy, that was fun. Now everyone's talking about the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, that's what Nintendo's doing. Oh yeah, the fair Butch Hartman. You gotta say Butch Hartman right here. Newest character. Very interesting, huh? Would you buy this? Would you? The controls are simple, ladies and gentlemen. You would buy this. Yes, a new official add-on. I haven't really done much, but lately there's been a lot of things.
Let's go!
Go!
Yes, they did random Ebola. They found out there was Ebola, so they decided to burn them all. The Monster Hunter World. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people don't know who Paul Logan or Tom Green is when I ask that question. Jesus Christ, people don't even know who Tom Green is. You know, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys who Tom Green is, because he actually attempted... There was a situation with Paul Logan. Now, I'm going to show you Tom Green in Japan. Show you the Random Monkey Super Hour show. Now, I'm going to show you what he did in Japan that was so ridiculous. Now, he went to Japan and he did a special called Tom Green's Subway Monkey Hour Special. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what he did. And you decide for yourself if Paul Logan did it better than Tom Green.
Sort of like a Benihana, I guess. The cool roofs and beautiful golden paint. Hey guys, how are you? Try the steak teriyaki. Really good. We're on a tour. All of a sudden. This is the last joke's cracking me up still. We haven't really figured out what this is, but it's some sort of a shrine, I guess. This guy looks like he's taking a leak. What were you doing there? Reading. Oh, reading, okay. From behind it looked like you were taking a whiz.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Would have been a weird place to do it, huh? It's basically pretty boring, to be honest. Oh! Oh! You're throwing your bum bum! You're throwing your bum bum! Do you see it? Did you see it? You've seen one temple, you've seen them all. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Pizza pie? Did you like my pizza pie song? Pizza pie, okay. Pizza.
Yeah, so you can tell that Tom Green had done a lot of stunts, pulled a lot of stunts in Japan. Now, you may not realize it that Tom Green had done some crazy stunts in Japan. Compared to Paul Logan, some Japanese actually kind of laughed at him for that. Now, I'm going to show you guys Jackass in Japan. So let's go ahead and look at Japan. Sorry, I kind of was in an apple, but then again, let's go ahead and do something here. This is Jackass, for example, because this is hilarious.
I see the spirit, there's nothing else to do. picture. I got your picture. I'd like a million of you over myself. I want a doctor to take a picture so I can look at you from inside as well. You got me turning up and turning down. I'm turning in, I'm turning right, I'm turning Japanese. I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. I'm turning Japanese, I really think so.
Now, I asked this question online about this whole thing about who did it worse, Paul Logan or... Because I know Paul Logan's intentions were to be funny in a way, but the problem was a lot of people didn't laugh at him, and I kind of had to compare the two people who did annoying comical stuff. But a lot of people don't know who Tom Green is or Jackass, because none of them remembered or even bothered to be remembering the MTV generation of around the 90s and early 2000s. Now it's kind of sad though, because a lot of people didn't know who Tom Green, who did it better, because they didn't know who Tom Green was. And Tom Green used to have an interesting show, and he used to always do horrible pranks with his family. And when he went to Japan, he kind of did the whole yelling and screaming thing like autistically, and a lot of people thought it was hilarious, but some people found it offensive. But as far as I know, there was one incident where he went to a restaurant, and Tom Green decided to bring a dildo along with a walkie-talkie on it, like some voice thing saying, "I'm a dildo, I'm a dildo, I'm a dildo," and he put it on like this machine in a restaurant in Japan, which was like an escalator machine that just runs around in the circles and which delivers food. And the funny thing was, a woman kind of went after him for it, because she was very she told her to try to ask him about, why did you do this, why are you doing this, and of course she had to get the police to come in to go after, to arrest Tom Green, because he brought in like a dildo to a restaurant, and a lot of people were upset with Tom Green over this whole situation. A lot of people don't know who Tom Green was at the time, so it doesn't really matter. A lot of people never heard of him. Anyways, it looks like some people never heard. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he was. That's the thing, he was, until then. Because you have to understand, Tom Green used to do a lot of funny stuff. I would show you the rest of Tom Green's Subway Monkey Hour thing, especially the whole poop thing that he did with Subway Monkey Hour. A lot of people don't remember Tom Green. Not even the Japanese. I'm surprised a lot of the Japanese don't even remember what happened with Tom Green, what he did in Japan. And yet everyone got upset with Logan Paul doing the same shit. And that's the weird part. Logan Paul, you know, you might just say that Logan Paul must have really pissed off a lot of people. But in truth, you know, I think some Japanese did laugh at it, but at the same time, some of them didn't, and that's what happened. But a lot of people were blaming him because thanks to him, now Japanese really hate foreigners and such. It's like, look, yes, back then, but those two did it. You know, those two people, actually, the Jackass crew and Tom Green did the worst stunts ever to Japan, and yet they seem to forget those two. As I recall, they did some weird, crazy stunts in Japan. Same with Logan Paul, but Logan Paul, you know, got hate for it. As for them, it was a small incident. And did they cause an international incident? Not really. They pretty much tried to entertain people. But the problem was Logan Paul couldn't really do anything. A lot of people think, is this guy an idiot? And that was the problem. Nobody was laughing at the fact that he was pulling these stunts. Some people were just like, like, yeah, whatever. Now, do I think what Logan Paul did was stupid? Yeah. But as far as I know, Logan Paul, you know, because I'll show you what Logan Paul did in Japan. All right, let's look up Logan Paul in Japan. Well, I'll go with this version.
I just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Japan is all about the respect. The dumb Americans have arrived. Look good. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just a vlogger. Gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Tokyo is a real life cartoon. It's gonna eat the GoPro. What did he do? No. You know how it is in Japan. They're all about the respect. We're gonna be respectful. LoganPaul.com/shop. Look, they just got loaves of bread. I'll take the whole thing. What's the issue?
This one is just for a display.
Oh, so we're gonna be respectful. The Game Boy Color. How much? 9,500. Ah! Excuse me, sir. The game seems to be malfunctioning. Mucho broken, though. Toyota, I choose you. No, no, no. Get him. Honey, get him. Get him. Oh, catch you. I choose you.
Japanese man really hates you.
Japanese police.
Thanks.
Pants coming down. I just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Mavericks, people who are doing it differently. People who walk on the street instead of driving in cars. Hi, how are you? Okay, the road to Japan. Hello. Hi. Hey.
Hi, mate. Hi, mate.
How many what?
Hi, mate.
How many subscribers? Are you subscribed? So he has no idea. Hello. Oh. Hi. How you feel? We're gonna be respectful. Hey guys, you want some fish?
You just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture.
You sure you don't want this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, bro, I'm done with these fish. Japan is all about the respect. It's actually true. I know, it's true, so I gotta take my chotch levels and bring them down. Japan, Tokyo specifically, thanks for putting up with your boy. I'm gonna be respectful.
He knew what he was doing. 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 And the funny thing is, YouTube is changing their policy, punishing, you know, the low-level YouTubers over this. Over this stuff that he did. When you tell, when they were trying to tell us not to be racist. And I can tell you why. A lot of people on YouTube, especially YouTube itself has a policy not telling us not to be racist. But when you see a guy who does something this ridiculous and tries to, do something, out of weirdness, so you expect me to go to another country to make content, YouTube, to go ahead and shit on the culture, shit on the people in that culture. So if I go to, let's just say, India, for example, if I go down there pulling the same shit that Logan Paul did in India, do you think that would be funny? Do you think that would be entertaining enough? And people would find that offensive too. Now, think about it for a moment. Should I act like Logan Paul? So you expect us to act like Logan Paul in order to do this? Because that's what you're sending the message to us on YouTube. Think about it, YouTube. You really are. Because this is the policy changes that you're expecting everyone to follow, because, well, you basically are unaware of what the issue was, especially if I'm going to have to go and film a dead body in India, just like Logan Paul did. Would that work? Would that be entertaining? Would that be educational? Would that be something that you want to say to people? Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't say that. That's the thing that people are upset about with YouTube, because you guys have no awareness what you're doing. Because, well, and I'm not going to go tell Logan Paul to go kill himself or anything like that. I understand Logan Paul made a mistake. Logan Paul did something stupid. He wanted to, I know what his intentions were. He was trying to be funny. It's hard enough, being on YouTube, trying to make things entertaining. But he wasn't the only one that pulled this type of stunt long before anyone else. Now, do I think Logan Paul was stupid? Yeah. Do I think he deserved a lot of the hate? That depends. That depends on the person. Because a lot of people who are defending him, and a lot of people who are not defending this stuff, who are against this type of stuff, let me explain this. What Logan Paul did is his own responsibility, his own way. Now, should he be punished? I don't know. Because that's up to YouTube to decide whether or not he does or not. Now, and what they did to change the policy on YouTube, I think it's kind of stupid too, because they were also responsible for their own actions, especially with telling us, of all people, that this content is inappropriate for children. But what he did was inappropriate, showing a victim of a suicide. Was it wrong of him to do it? I don't know. But yeah, it was wrong. It was stupid of him. But, what can you tell people about this issue? What can Logan Paul say about it? Yeah, he's sorry. And of course his content, he's trying to be funny. He was trying to, entertain people. And that's fine. I have nothing against him doing that stuff. But a lot of kids like it. I'm not against him for that. But this is the thing. Paul Logan, you made a mistake. You're not the only one who was young and dumb who pulled this type of stunts in Japan. Now, you get to point that out to anybody who is going after you for it. Because the thing is, why isn't anyone going after Jackass for this? Why is anyone going after Tom Green for this? I don't know. Because no one brought this up. No one brought this point up. And I'm surprised that anyone who doesn't remember this should have remembered this, because I recall this shit happened a long time ago, And yet people don't even remember Tom Green or the crew of Jackass going to Japan, trying to pull these type of stunts, similar stunts that Logan Paul was doing. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, who did it worse? Jackass, Tom Green, or Logan Paul? Because I just showed you guys the examples of videos from a long time ago. And I guess no one has acknowledged this other than the fact they don't remember the fact that this is happening. Now, what Logan Paul did was stupid, and a lot of Japanese who are unaware of this should remember Tom Green and and Jackass for pulling these stunts. Now, they could bitch all they want, but every generation seems to want to forget about Jackass and also Tom Green. So for Logan Paul, you know, I'm assuming that the Japanese will long forgotten him and move on, like every other thing that happened a long time ago, because this is nothing new, guys, and it happens a lot. You know, people like to pull stunts for entertainment, and it happens. And I guess I can't really blame Logan Paul for this. Let's just say he pretty much went way over his head on this, and he made a big mistake, and it happens. And I'm not, you know, advocating for him to kill himself. I'm not gonna say any of that shit, because I think he already learned his lesson the hard way, and he's still learning. Anyways, that's pretty much it for me. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say to everybody on this show, because this is just random BS here. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I mean. Now, do I think this show really needs improvement? Not really. I don't really care for it. A lot of people are very upset with me about a lot of things. Now, oh man, I really got to make some more content for this channel. I don't really get much content in this channel, so it's like random autism show. So what the hell? Now, this is something that I'm going to do, because this is a random bullshit stream. And today, ladies and gentlemen, how the heck do you portray yourself as defending people who suffer from gender discrimination while misgendering someone in the same breath? Now, these people have really lost their nerve on this one. The goober is trans and frequently rails against exclusion, misgendering in media, etc. How come is it okay to do to me, huh? Now, a lot of people have doing that. I'm retired. Let's look at this guy. Let's listen.
My name is Brock Blaschuk. I'm a retired corporal with the Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry out here in Edmonton, 1st Battalion. I served in the Canadian Armed Forces for 7 years. I deployed in Afghanistan back in 2009 until April 3rd, where I was obviously severely wounded by a roadside bomb or improvised explosive. As you can see, I've lost my left leg. I have 58% soft tissue loss and 88% nerve damage on my right leg. Back in August 24th, 2015, you made the promise, and I'll quote it here, "No veteran will be forced to fight their own government for the support and compensation they have earned." Yet you are still currently in a legal battle with veterans regarding equal support and compensation to their peers. You have ISIL or ISIS members coming into a reintegration program. You did a backdoor deal with Omar Khadr with not even stepping into the courtroom. Because honestly, Mr. Prime Minister, I was prepared to be injured in the line of duty when I joined the military. Nobody forced me to join the military. I was prepared to be killed in action. What I wasn't prepared for, Mr. Prime Minister, is Canada turning its back on me.
On a couple of elements you brought up. First of all, why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court? Because they are asking for more than we are able to give right now. They are asking for more than we... Well, no, hang on. You're asking for honest answers. Why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court? Because they are asking for more than we are able to give right now.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. Hey, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Wrestling with Games. Ooh, he's live streaming. Awesome. I suggest you check out his channel, Wrestling with Games. He's a really good YouTuber who talks about the history of gaming. He's a really good. He seems to have a really good journalistic integrity when it comes to asking questions about the history of gaming in a way. So I can tell you this right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going on. Okay, but Nurgle right now is playing Monster Hunter right now, so it's going to take for him for a while to do something. Oh yeah, I forgot. The former Atari. I kind of feel bad for him because he's been accused of, because according to Brianna Wu, she claims that one of the former employees of Atari, who was a female, approached Brianna Wu about Nolan Bushnell, who used to work for Atari back in around the 70s and 80s through 90s, and he retired through 1973 through 1999. Looks like there were some accusations flying around about him, but there's no evidence other than the fact that he apologized for a lot of this stuff to anyone that have offended, but mostly ending in the matter. Now, he's a nice guy, all around nice guy, but the sad part is, you know, it seems that some people, you know, one person claimed that he was the nicest person around, and this whole Me Too movement used around a lot of the things. It's getting to the point where there's a lot of things going on. Now, there's been some recent developments in the Me Too movement which kind of made one particular person, and I'm not, you know, I'm not against her or anything like that, but I gotta do something here and censor it out. I'm just gonna show you guys the recording, and I thought it was hilarious when they did the Nightline interview with
your former charmed co-star Alyssa Milano gets a lot of credit for helping Me Too go viral.
So?
Are you proud of her?
I don't like her.
Why?
Because I think she's a lie.
Why?
Do you think I don't know these people? I'm not looking at this from the outside. I have a lot of experience. I know she's married to a CIA agent. Do the math. Who's behind Time's Up? CIA. Where do they meet? CIA. Who needs good PR? CIA. who are part of the pimp problem, CAA.
These are very powerful people you're talking about.
They are. So am I.
And CIA did not return requests for comment. So Milano said in the statement to ABC News, "I'm always have been completely supportive of Rose. I admire her bravery, but speaking out about her experience. My goal throughout the past few months with the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement have been going to use a platform to give others a voice so that we can work together and step out sexual harassment and sexual assault." Alyssa Milano. Now, Rose McGowan, you know, a lot of people are really, really upset with Rose. Now, there was a situation with Rose McGowan where a trans woman attacked her, and then attacked her about something about, let me see. Let's see. Now, the funny thing was, someone named Andre Deer, the woman who heckled Rose McGowan on her book signing, is now being accused of sexual assault by multiple women, and especially underage, which was 13. Now, the weird thing is, you may remember her from heckling the woman, and it's like, it happened on Wednesday evening on the 4th floor of the Union Square Barnes & Noble, Manhattan. A diverse crowd waited for Rose McGowan to arrive, and what happened was she was really pissed off with the person heckling her about the whole trans issue. And the sad part was, you know, and I feel bad for Rose because she was getting heckled by that woman. And what happened was they brought up some issues about her being a hypocrite. The woman went off straight at her. And I thought it was just so ridiculous. And the irony of the situation where a woman was being sexually assaulted. Now, women are claiming that this person who was a trans woman sexually assaulted them. And the thing is, you know, right now she's fighting her own revolution, doing whatever she wants. Now, do I think it's sad irony? Yeah, it is, because this is the type of stuff that's going viral and everything, and I don't hold it against Rose McGowan, because from what I understand, Rose McGowan, you know, is doing her own thing, and I'm not against her speaking out against this type of shit that's going on in Hollywood. She has the right to talk about it, trying to address the issues, especially what's going on right now in Hollywood, especially the environment and everything, and what's going on both ends of the situation. Now, do I think she's crazy? Yeah. Do I think she's wrong about it? Not really, because she likes Conan. Oh man, I didn't even realize she loves that movie. Oh man, Conan the Destroyer. Oh man, she really must really like that movie so much. Now, the thing is, you know, I'm just kind of, dude, I know what you did last summer. James Franco wins the Critics' Choice Awards amid the sexual misconduct claims. Rose Army. Yes. Yeah, the joke about him, James Franco. Rose McGowan said that. That's funny. Mirror said you don't open a letter to do for... Now, let's see here. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and do something here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we have. Some random BS stuff that's going on. Let's see, what would be the most interesting news ever? What would be the most interesting news to talk about? Let's see. Let's see. What would be the most interesting news? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of... not many people are coming into the stream. It's just a random stream that I wanted to do. So, it's not a big deal. I guess some people are not interested in the stream. I'm just doing this for the fun of it. It's not... And it looks like... I tried to give you the link. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, I know. I'm not too worried about the entertaining side of things. I'm just trying to, you know, do a random BS stream. Now, oh man, I really got to look up some stuff. What would be entertaining? What would be the most entertaining game on the site right now? All right. Let's see. What would be an entertaining game for Nintendo? Okay, let's look at this video. Somewhat like a Castlevania type of game. Anyways, let's go ahead and look up something else. Some interesting headlines. Okay. Lost Spear cheats unlock infinite health and money. Now, Pug devs continue to fight against cheaters. Community continues petition to region lock China. Oh wow. That's sad. Nexion's American lays off staff. Denies that it was due to lawbreakers. Now, Nexion just pretty much Battlefield 2018 could feature the famous Mauler Kaiser 98K. That's interesting. Monster Hunter World Guide: How to Mount and Attack Enemies Efficiently. Okay, Legendary Legacy cheats that give you no. Vampire Dev video covers the NPCs you'll be feeding on and immigration. Let's look at this one. Let's look at the dev diary and see what they're doing here. Since Focus Entertainment, actually Focus Home Entertainment.
Thank you for releasing me. I danced with you at my wedding, Jonathan.
Bloody bastard.
I've known you were one of them, Johnny. I was not strong enough.
Not me, please. I'll be good.
Death has no splendor at all.
On voulait pas proposer des personnages, des NPC comme on retrouve dans la plupart des RPG, où finalement le NPC se résume juste à prendre une quête ou à dire 2 mots et puis retourner faire sa petite vie. Non, on s'est dit, il faut que chaque citoyen ait sa propre identité et que chaque fois que le vampire doit en choisir un pour le sacrifier, que ça a du sens, que ça crée des conséquences dans le monde.
Il y avait 2 principes. D'abord, on voulait que le joueur réalise qu'il se confronte à chaque fois à une personne. Donc, il n'y a pas de citoyen lambda. Par ailleurs, ce sont des gens que tu vas croiser systématiquement la nuit. Et pour sortir dans les rues de Londres à cette époque-là, avec ce qui se passe, avec la grippe espagnole, avec la guerre qui est en train de finir, avec visiblement un certain nombre de meurtres qui ont lieu toutes les nuits dans les différents quartiers de Londres, il faut avoir une très très bonne raison de sortir. Donc on a fait une liste de personnages et une galerie de personnages souvent très haut en couleur qui ont tous une très bonne raison de sortir la nuit. Le deuxième objectif, c'était de réussir à dresser un portrait de Londres qui soit véridique, qui donne une espèce de vision, strate par strate, couche sociale par couche sociale, de la manière dont on vit à Londres à l'époque. Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'être un immigré à l'époque à Londres? Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'être un orphelin? Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'être quelqu'un qui cherche du travail? Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'être quelqu'un qui est très riche? Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'être quelqu'un qui essaye de comprendre la raison pour laquelle des gens meurent toutes les nuits?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Dans Vampire, c'est pas en tuant les ennemis qu'on va gagner de l'XP, c'est en sacrifiant les citoyens et en absorbant leur sang frère.
Ça, c'était pour nous une façon de dire, tu vois, tu es un vampire, tu peux tuer, ça a du sens dans le jeu de tuer. Tu vas être récompensé par des points d'expérience. Par contre, à chaque fois que tu tues, tu vas influencer le monde autour de toi, tu vas prendre une vie, donc les survivants vont devoir se confronter à la tristesse, à la perte de cette personne, et la disparition de ta cible va de toute façon influencer l'histoire d'une manière ou d'une autre, ou le quotidien des gens qui vivaient autour d'elle.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Chaque fois que le joueur va prendre la vie d'un citoyen de Londres, il va entendre sa dernière pensée. Donc il y a plusieurs pensées différentes que tu peux saisir selon que tu as déjà tué des gens qu'il connaît ou pas. Tu n'as pas juste acquis un certain nombre de points d'expérience. Tu saisis l'ultime pensée de quelqu'un qui va mourir. Et franchement, à chaque fois que je joue au jeu et à chaque fois que j'ai regardé des gens tester le jeu, on se rend compte que ça marche. Il y a quelque chose d'un petit peu poignant. Et c'est ça qu'on cherchait. On ne voulait surtout pas mettre le joueur dans la situation de considérer les citoyens comme des poches de sang, mais au contraire comme des entités vivantes qui sont inquiètes et qui vont regarder le prédateur qui vient de prendre leur vie et l'interroger une ultime fois sur le sens de ce meurtre en fait, parce que c'est un meurtre.
Death has no splendor at all. Oh, I see it now, I see it. Oh, the verse I could write.
Vampire. It's coming soon. And this is from Donut Entertainment. Let's see here. Deep Space Waifu Uncensored patch available for download. Let's see, what else? But Peterson seeks to bring a 1947 alien horror to PC. Nah, we're not going to do that. Omega Labyrinth refused to classify Australian band. Okay. Well, at least we won't get to play it. Ah, ha, ha, ha. At least Australia. Yeah, it's kind of sad that Australia won't be able to play it. Now, let's see what we can be interested in. Okay. Final Fantasy benchmarks. Uncensored patch offers gamers. Okay. Songs and visual romance. Nude mod. Desolate horror survival game set to Steam hit early access soon. So desperately tries to win brownie points with Knack, rim of PlayStation Plus. Yeah, let's see. I gotta finish these games. These are okay. This one is interesting because I kind of thought it was hilarious. Because I would play the songs where it's just kind of ridiculous how they're doing this.
The year is 2014. The world we know is long gone. Most of the world's got...
This winter season in Megadome, interactive environments and lots of death. Death by fire. Death by lasers. Death by mechanical contraptions. Death from unattended construction equipment. Courtesy of our sponsors. More weapons than ever. Blaster, ion cannon, machine gun, Megadome. The only show where the audience gets to say who lives and who bites the dust. Fresh, new, motorized killers. And more badasses coming later this season. Buy now, only $5. No bullshit, no loot boxes, no microtransactions. Nightwolf. Survive the Megadome.
I would so play that game because it's so hilariously funny. Oh man. Alright, well let me bring up something here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the situation with Micro. No, actually, there's been some recent stuff that's going on. Okay, yeah, this is the stream itself, as you can see. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the cryptocurrency situation, considering the cryptocurrency thing is kind of a big deal. Cryptocurrency. Let's see what's going on. Sorry if I can't spell it right. Now, there's been some news. Markets moved back into the green suburbs. Now, a lot of banks ban credit purchases of cryptocurrency due to risk. Unconfirmed circles in talks acquire crypto exchange. Now, there's been a lot of talk about what's going on because right now banks are kind of very, very skeptical about the cryptocurrency, considering what happened to Bitcoin crashing in the market. It is a really bad situation right now. And now it's kind of a bigger thing right now. As you can see, you know, Bitcoin is making a lot of money at 92%, but it's not enough to, you know, get people to do mathematical freaking probabilities to unlock stuff like this. Now, there's been a big boom lately. But the drawback is, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and go to Amazon. Thanks to cryptocurrency, as you can see, there's been a really huge deal with graphics cards. There's been a really big boom in sales of graphics cards, and right now, you know, companies are very upset with what graphics cards are doing. Now, Jesus Christ. Graphics cards. Now, they're giving me the old models that people are buying. Now, I used to remember buying this. Let's see if that's the one I'm buying. I remember this used to be about $135, actually 140, 150, and now it's 280. There's been a big increase of pricing on graphics cards lately. That especially, you know, this one right here. I have something similar to this. It's like a GTX 150, and I have a GTX 150, which is the EVGA version, and I only have the single fan version, and this one is kind of at $200 something. Now, there's been a big increase in pricing on graphics cards because right now, because thanks to cryptocurrency, a lot of cryptocurrency miners have been using these to mine graphics cards, and they are expensive as hell right now. $500 for this. I always wanted one of these, but it's not going to happen because cryptocurrency is the big deal, and a lot of computer, you know, guys want free money and hope to, you know, convert it into money so that they can buy these things, so they can make so they can pay their bills and such, and not have to work as much. But considering how much money you have to spend just to get, you know, for energy and all this stuff, most of them are buying like solar panels just to use this thing to mine cryptocurrency. No joke. And the thing is, you know, it is very expensive. This used to be about 150, and this is the model that I have. It's a shame that right now it's really starting to get, like, not many people will buy these. No joke, no one will buy those at a low price. Most people, because you can see right here, a lot of people want this to mine cryptocurrency, and it's expensive as hell by the looks of it. A lot of people were waiting for this stuff to happen. It's like, this is the type of stuff that we're dealing with right now. And do I think it's worth buying? Well, I would say yes and no per se, because there is a lot of things going on in the marketplace that is very shady right now, considering that there's been news about graphics cards and everything, and a lot of people want like the new shit for graphics cards. And do I think graphics cards should be less expensive? Well, that depends. Right now, as you can see, that's $600 for a 6 gigabyte, actually 8 gigabyte RX Radeon, because a lot of people say those are decent for crypto mining. But right now, you know, it's getting difficult to use crypto mining, especially these babies. Right now, they're like $800 for an 8 gigabyte size of RAM, GDDR, because they find out that gaming graphics cards can easily, you know, make a lot of cash, and you can see that these people are using graphics cards for crypto mining. Like, this is the like, a lot of people would recommend these, but the problem is, you know, these graphics cards, they're trying to forcibly want people to buy these graphics cards, and right now Nvidia is trying to, you know, make people want to buy these graphics cards so that, but the problem is they don't realize that these are for learning stations. These are just for the learning. Artificial intelligence are not good enough to calculate very well, because a lot of people have tried workstation graphics cards, and they barely generate the cryptocurrency. That's why most people would prefer to buy the most expensive graphics cards out there, like the gaming, because they easily can calculate better on Bitcoin than anything else. They can easily mine them better than ever. And most of them don't want to use the Quadro graphics cards because they barely do anything to make people do anything. Because like most people are reporting that Nvidia and AMD are losing gamers to cryptocurrency chaos, because it is hurting, because the market's really hurting because of the lack of graphics cards being made, and it's just so sad. Oh man. And you can see right here, this is what they're doing with those graphics cards, and they eventually break down over time. And the sad part is they replace them every so often, spending that much money just to get a lot of money into cryptocurrency, because a lot of people are mining that money pretty easily with all these graphics cards in the middle. And this is a Bitcoin mining server, and that's a lot of money. And I wish I could buy cryptocurrency, but I'm not into that stuff, and I know it's a little bit of a risky to do, because right now, you know, people are easily gaining access to these graphics cards, and you can tell that they're making these servers to make money. And it's easier for them to get these graphics cards because, one, they can easily get them from a store or a vendor or any other place to make money, and they can easily just pay through cryptocurrency or just transfer the money and convert it into real money and then just pay it out flat out at a computer shop and get these things. And it's so easy for them to do it. And right now these people, right now, you know, Nvidia is considering trying to make crypto servers so that miners don't have to buy the graphics cards. Even some computer companies are doing the same deal so that people can buy, you know, a crypto server and not have to, you know, buy a graphics card. But they would rather prefer to buy the graphics card because they can easily make more money off of buying graphics cards, because it's cheaper for them to make money off of cryptocurrency mining. And the sad part is, you know, Nvidia is suffering a lot due to the cryptocurrency market, because they don't have a lot of graphics cards available for a lot of reasons. Now, do I think cryptocurrency should consider doing this? I don't know. But you're paying more to basically buy a graphics card. Now, do I think that cryptocurrency is abusing the market with graphics cards? Well, considering the situation that's going on with graphics cards, I think, you know, it's due to Nvidia not realizing what happened in cryptocurrency and why they're trying to mine this stuff out of a computer. I think they should try to, you know, experiment with cryptocurrency and try to, you know, give out an alternative to graphics cards so that people could build their own thing and just, you know, crypto mine with, you know, just keep it separate. Like, people could buy the graphics cards, but also make mining cards so that people can mine stuff. That's what I think they should do. If Nvidia wants to, you know, sell, like, because the workstation graphics cards don't work very well, and that's the problem, especially in the, like, how are you gonna pay for workstation graphics cards that cost, like, I can show you this. Like, workstation graphics cards, as you can see right here, the Quadros, Now, they don't generate a lot. As much people as much as they try to sell these things, they don't generate, because a lot of people have tested these graphics cards on mining and they find that they suck. That is the biggest problem. If only these businesses would make a separate business, because they could easily make money and sell like graphics cards for mining, and then you can have separate graphics cards for gaming. If they would do that, that could probably easily, you know, stop the whole mining market as we see fit to divide. So they can easily conquer and divide. They can solve the problem with gaming and graphic and mining, so that miners can be happy, gamers can be happy, so they can afford graphics cards at a reasonable price, while miners can afford to get all the graphics cards they want for mining. Now, you could make that a separate thing so that miners can buy their own graphics cards that they can make money off of, while gamers can buy, because you can separate the two. And I think they should do that, because the problem with it is that workstation graphics cards don't do shit for mining. And even if they try to sell these things to miners, it's still never going to work, because they're not gonna be attracted to that type of thing. They want graphics cards that can generate the hashes or whatever the heck they want and still, you know, make a profit. That's what they want. And the problem is, you know, you could easily make some money off of this by just by, you know, dividing the whole thing. You make graphic cards for miners, you make graphic card for gamers. It could probably work either way. If they would have done it that way, they wouldn't have this problem or this situation. So that they could easily, you know, make graphic cards for miners, which would be a good idea, and then make graphics cards for gamers. Would work, so that, you know, so that they won't have to go into buying graphics cards because they're cheaper and affordable. They could easily go into, you know, mining graphics cards that would work for them. Now, do you think that that could help solve the problem with the cryptocurrency market? I don't know, but it would be a nice idea to divide and conquer. Basically, you make graphics cards for gaming, you make graphics cards for mining, so that people can understand. So you have to really experiment with this, AMD and Nvidia. You need to consider this, because this could help solve the problem. You probably should divide everything into what you want to do. You want to sell to gamers at affordable price? I'm all for it. I would love for you guys to do that. All you have to do is make graphics cards for miners, make them compatible to miners, and separate the two so that those graphics cards can be compatible. Like, certain ones can be compatible for gaming, certain ones can be compatible for mining. Think about it for a moment. You can easily make money and make a profit by selling graphics cards to miners, and selling graphics cards by dividing it into compatibility, so that miners don't have to go into sinking their resources into buying gaming graphics cards unless they want to, and also buy graphics cards for mining only. Mining. Would that help your thing? But that depends on me. That's all I'm saying. That could probably work for them if they actually thought of that idea, because it could easily help if they would have stuck to it. Because you can see these are workstation graphics cards, and I don't even think anyone could use the miners wouldn't use these, because they fail at you know, hashing a lot of crypto mining. If you would make graphics cards that would help the workflow of mining, and then separate it and then sell it in the marketplace, maybe people would buy that, and it would help you guys out a lot more. And then you could sell graphics cards compatible for gaming only, which would help. And you could also just like do a preventer, like, no, you can't use this for the requirements for this will slow down the performance of cryptocurrency. Like, you could prevent that in the code if you want to, and then just force people to buy, you know, cryptocurrency mining, you know, graphics cards. That could probably help, but then again, you know, a lot of them would probably get upset with me, because like, God knows they'll probably hate me for doing that idea, for suggesting it in any way. Anyways, we go ahead and do something here. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see, what would be the best gaming news possibilities that we should know about? Let me see. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna probably go. Thank you for watching. I know that this is the random BS stream. Been doing this for 2 hours, so I'm off. Good night and sleep tight.